I thought I'd take some time out of packing for our Belgium trip, which you will see on this channel in a couple of weeks' time, to talk about 28mm. I've been shooting with a Leica for a couple of months now, and it just has a 28mm fixed lens, so I'm sort of stuck at that focal range now. And a lot of people before I got the camera would be like, you're going to want more versatility than that, you're going to want a camera that you can change lenses on and stuff like that. But in this video I'm going to talk about different ways that I really like 28mm. You know, it's my preferred focal length anyway, and I don't feel like I'm missing out not being able to shoot anything else on the Leica Q3. It is 60 megapixel and I can crop in if I wanted to using a digital crop mode, but that's not the point. The 28mm lens is absolutely fabulous, and for my style of photography, being street photography, there are tons of use cases for it, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So the first thing is familiarity. Everyone is going to be familiar with a 28mm lens, and if you haven't used it, or if you're using something like a 35 as standard, as a lot of people do, a 28mm is still going to be very familiar for you. Now there is a difference between 35 and 28. Say this being 28 now, this would be 35, so there's a little bit more of a zoom in, you'll get a little bit more background compression, but other than that there is a difference. You can see it visually on your screens. But familiarity, you're going to be familiar with 28 even if you've never shot it on a camera, because most of your phones shoot 28mm as their main camera's focal length. It may be 24, it may be 28, but there isn't much difference between those two. And your camera being a day-to-day driver on your phone, everyone knows what your phone's going to look like when you take a shot. It's easy to visualize, so you'll be able to see a shot pan out in front of you and be like, right, well, if this was me taking it with a phone as I do with everyday snaps, I know what that shot's going to look like, meaning you know how to compose it when you're using a 28mm lens on your camera. It's very important to understand that in your brain when you go to take a shot, because then you can know how to compose it and you can be quicker at composing it when it comes to taking an actual photo on your camera. And yeah, that's the main reason that I found 28 such a breeze to go to. I was using a zoom lens on the Fuji before I got the Leica, and it was quite a daunting change going to one fixed lens, but having the familiarity of a 28mm and understanding what my phone would shoot before taking a photo, it put me at ease a little bit. And I think a lot of you, if you've never shot it before, will feel the same, because you're used to your camera on your phone taking everyday snaps, you're used to that, so you'll be able to identify this is what it's going to look like on a camera. Now I am talking full frame 28mm. If you were shooting on a CMOS sensor, a crop sensor, that will be the equivalent to a 40mm. If you've got a 28mm lens on a Fuji, for example, that will be the equivalent to a 40mm full frame. I'm talking about full frame 28. It's quite wide, but at the same time, that's a good thing, especially if you're trying to incorporate more elements into your shot. You're easily able to fill your frame with 28mm without it being distorted around the edges, giving you sort of a fisheye look. It doesn't give you that because it isn't that wide, but at the same time, you can incorporate and fill your frame with a ton of different elements. For example, I shoot a lot of grand scale things, so my subject will be quite small, usually a silhouette, and the foreground and the elements around them is quite grand in comparison. That's great on 28mm. But on top of that, if you want to incorporate a busy street scene, for those that want to take pictures of a bustling street market or something like that, you're able to fill your frame with tons of different things to show what's going on around your subject. Closer in, 50mm, like the Nifty 50 for example, you're going to be focusing on your subject, nothing around them. That's perfect for street portraits, but if you want to get the environment around your subject and the elements going on around them, so in a busy street market, you'll see the subject but interacting with someone else off to the side, and then on top of that you've got some texture off on the left hand side, and all of that combines to make a really interesting, somewhat abstract image. With 28mm you can do that. Any closer in and you lose that a little bit, I find. But if you do want to focus on the subject, then I'm not afraid to crop in a little bit. I think, everyone wants to compose right first time, but that isn't always the case. But if you're wider, you have the ability to crop in. If you're at 50 and you're already just focused on your subject, you can't zoom out after you've taken the image, but you can zoom in if you have that option. And that's why combining my 28 with a high megapixel sensor I'm able to do that without losing anything, really. But there's so much versatility when it comes to the 28. You can fit texture, you can make everything look grand and on a larger scale, and I think at the same time it also tends to be a lot lighter and smaller lenses that come as 28mm. I'm not just talking about the Leica Q, because in comparison to other 28mm lenses, the camera is quite a bulky package. It's 750-ish grams on the Leica, and that isn't heavy by any sense of the word, but there are a lot lighter packages that you can go for. TT Artisan, for example, have a brilliant 28mm pancake lens, and it is so small and so tiny that you can make most cameras pocketable with that lens. And if you want something like that to carry around in your pocket and just whip out and quickly take a snap and then put it back in your pocket and stay discreet and less noticeable, you're not going to look like a paparazzi walking around with a 28mm pancake lens, that's for sure. And I think that's another good thing, being able to get closer to your subject, because you have to. If it's a 28mm prime, you can't zoom in, but you're going to get closer to your subject, and you'll also stay discreet because the lenses are not extremely long. They are nice, pocketable and discreet, and I think that's another reason why it's becoming more and more popular nowadays to have a 28mm over, say, 35 or 50. Another thing, and this is something that blends in with the staying discreet and getting closer to your subject, is I find that 28mm was never anyone's first lens choice. Everyone goes for a 50 or a 35 at first, but the more that you do photography and the more you do street, the wider you seem to go to encapsulate more, like I said earlier, and the more you feel comfortable approaching people and getting closer to your subjects. And I feel like that was my natural progression as well. I was using the zoom lens beforehand so I can stay away from the scene and not interrupt it, but now I can get close to subjects and I know where to stand to compose my image without disturbing the scene, but still being close enough to capture what I want, how I want it. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be the case for every lens on the market, but from what I've seen is 28mm lenses compared to 35 and 50s usually have lower apertures, which is great if you want to do nighttime photography. And street photographers, they love nighttime shots. I know I certainly do, because you can fit all of your unnatural light and your neons and all that sort of stuff. And the lower apertures allow you to let more light into the sensor, meaning you don't have to boost your ISO so high, and you can keep your shutter speed quite fast, so you're getting sharper images at nighttime. Combining that with your smaller, more pocketable form factors is a great camera package to take out. Having a camera with a 28mm lens on it allows you to take it out in your pocket to capture the night scenes if you really want to go out shooting nighttime more and more. Now, some may see this as a disadvantage over an advantage, but I'll tell you something, I am really happy that I had a 28mm lens after all this time. Rather than having to faff around with choosing which focal length I want to take a shot at, I am easily able to just know what's going to be in my frame. If I see a shot panning out in front of me, I can just take the image rather than spending time choosing which focal length to shoot it at. I just have one now. And sure, I can crop in and it's just the press of a button, so it's nice and instant, but usually 90% of my shots are taken at 28 and then I can crop in post if I need to. And on top of that, it allows me to know what's going to be in my frame when I'm taking the shot, so if I am zone focusing, it's a lot quicker to take the shot, or even more so when I'm manual focusing to say 1 or 2 meters, I can shoot from the hip and know that that's going to be in my frame and I know what's going to happen, so I'm able to capture things as I'm on the move a lot more easier than having a zoom lens or having to change lenses for the situation. I know that if I'm shooting a 28mm purely with a focus range between 2 meters and infinity, then I will know that anything from 2 meters onwards is going to be in focus. And it takes a lot of the pressure off when it comes to shooting, and I think that's another reason I like it so much. Now, they're my main points and why I switched and why I'm happy that I switched. And as I say, it's everyone's opinion to have their own different focal length of choice, their own different lens choices, their own different camera choices. Photography is purely personal preference, isn't it, at the end of the day? But I know a lot of people are switching to 28mm and the reason I switched to 28mm was for those reasons. So I hope this video helps you if you're indecisive on whether you want to switch, but I fully recommend doing so just to test it out for yourself. Even if you rent a lens for a couple of days or something like that, it's really worthwhile doing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Like I say, keep an eye out for Belgium, that's coming soon, as well as Paris in the next month. So enjoy, stay subscribed, we're getting close to 1,000. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.